duty of the shepherd was to use his staff, to beat them away.
Yep. Get back.
Get back.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. He will protect his sheep, right? And sheep are extremely simple. Okay? Like you had this one dude come on a comment board. It should be common sense. All right? You shouldn't need no man to tell you not to take the jab. You may have somebody who sincerely believed, who when that came, they needed to hear no. Because they're sheep.
Yeah.
Sheep ain't that wise, bro. They're beautiful. They're in order. But they can go astray.
They need guidance.
They need guidance. So the good shepherd will ultimately, with his staff, that's why the scriptures say thy rod and thy staff.
They come
Psalms 23. That's given the symbolism of the good shepherd. So the hireling would be like, man, the sheep, it's getting dangerous, man. Fuck that. Just give me my wage. I'm out. That's what a hireling would do.
Yep.
See, and that's what a lot of these guys are doing. Like shit got, tough, and where they at?
Mm-hmm.
Now they're becoming TikTok prophets, and the new trend is getting clicks and views to get money. Alizar ain't teaching like that no more. When his reputation got shattered, pretty much he here and there he'll do a video, but he ain't prophesying and teaching no more. He's on TikTok trying to get paid because the hustle of being an Israelite failed for him. Okay? When he was showing the Lord, got that nigga, because he was showing, I'm getting $30,000 a month. I made $300,000 this year, yada yada. He's just showing,
Just boasting.
Boasting.
Yeah, that's it.
But he needed money for a camera when the camera was broke. But that's an example of a hireling. Once it got bad for him, he didn't, although that was bad.
Yeah.
I'd be somewhere in the woods with dust on my head.
Yeah.
But he got more proud. But read that again, Salaki. Start at 11.
John 10, this is John chapter 10 and verse 11. I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for his sheep, for these sheep. Verse 12, but he that is an hireling, and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not, seeth the wolf coming, and leaveth the sheep, and fleeth, and the wolf catcheth them, and scattereth the sheep.
There you go. We got too dangerous for them.
Yeah.
The good shepherd is going to stay there with the sheep.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Because they belong to him. The hireling, they don't really belong to him. He's there for a job.
That's right.
He'll come to help the good shepherd. The good shepherd goes, I got too many sheep. I'm going to hire somebody on to help me with these sheep. While they're on their mission, the wolf comes. Certain animals try to come get them. You lose a few. You like, man, the hireling's like, man, just give me my money, man. It's just too much.
Yeah, I ain't feeling it.
I didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
And we've had guys do that in the spirit.
Yeah.
When things get tough, they fold. Rebuke, having to lose things, okay? Having to suffer wrongfully. They be like, man, this is too much for me. I'm out. I'm going to go live my life. Ringo TV. Although he was never leading no goddamn body.
Right,
He
yeah.
did videos against about the Illuminati here and there. But now that, the ministry is under attack and people are talking bad about the Israelites, he's like, this is too much. I don't want to be labeled a bad guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Now he's trying to tear down the rebuilding of the tabernacle of David, man. Eating in, what's that in Matthew 24? Eating and drinking with the drunken, smiting the fellow servants on the cheek. All right? Some more on that. Go ahead.
This is back in John 10, verse 13. It says, the hireling fleeth because he is an hireling, and careth not for the sheep.
Right. In the NLT it says, the hired hand runs away because he's working only for the money. He doesn't really care for the sheep. Woo. So he was there, ultimately, I'm hired on for this amount of time. But when it got bad, okay, the sheep keep straying off. It's a job. He like, you know what? I can't do this.
Yeah. That's like in Sirach 2 where it says when you step into the house of the Lord.
Yeah.
A hireling, they're going to get into that, but they're going to see, then you got to have that patience and what it say, constantly endure.
Yeah.
The hireling say, yeah, I got my money now, I can go because this, it's getting rough out here.
Yeah.
It's time for me to balance. Lord, hey, you're a man of the Lord, you're going to constantly endure and constantly grow in your spirit. No matter how hard it gets, You know, but some out there just for the money.
Yeah.
You know, because it's looking good to them. Now things are getting kind of rough. Now they want to, you know, start getting ready to bounce out.
Because that was another turning point, as we always like to mention, is what? The pandemic, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a way to see who was gonna be, you know, who's gonna stand 10 toes down in a sense, and a lot of the leaders of Israel look terrible. They look terrible, bro. Telling your congregation to
Take it.
yeah to take it.
That was crazy work.
Yeah, that was crazy, bro. So you've did nothing more than prime these Jake to be fed to the elite, bro.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Nigga got crocodile DNA in his ass reading the precept for your big ass.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell's inside. This nigga half dolphin. You looking at him thinking it's a brother. This nigga got dolphin DNA in his ass.
Yeah, because it's just so weird. Because we know everybody like nasty as hell and freaky as hell. But, bro, all these HIV cases,
Yeah.
like, bro, something ain't right, bro.
Something not right.
Yeah.
That juice.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't set my ass down. I didn't turn down so much box.
Yeah.
Cause I'm scared. I just stick to the rivers and the lakes that I'm used to.
Yeah. Give me the old chick. Give me somebody who's born in the 70s, bro. Shit.
What you got said?
That Luke 15 about the sheep.
Yep, get that bucket shot.
This is Luke 15 and verse 4. And it's in red is Yahushua speaking. He say, what man of you having 100 sheep, if he lose one of them, do not he leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after that which is lost until he find it? And when he found it, he layeth it on his shoulders, rejoicing.
Right, the hireling ain't doing all that. You know, the hireling is like, well, it's 99 right here. What you need that? Why you tripping on that one?
99.
The good shepherd, because the good shepherd had a relationship with each sheep. Mm-hmm. He would know each of them, you know, about whatever name he called them. He would know who each of them was. He had a relationship with them.
Right.
There's a relationship. There's a science between a shepherd and the sheep. You know what I'm saying? And Yahweh Shai is the good shepherd, but we've been set up to aid, to assist him as shepherds.
Yeah.
But we can't have the mindset of the hireling. We got to be down for the whole ride.
Yep.
So if one went astray, he would know. And what he would do, he'd go get it. And when he found it, he put it on his shoulders and bring him back to where he belonged, to the fold, man.
In verse 6, it says, and we cometh home, he calleth together his friends and neighbors, saying unto them, rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep which was lost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the hireling ain't gonna do that. Go ahead.
Oh, well, you know, like I say, that's letting you know that's being a part of this ministry. When you come together and when you have one brother that basically, if you bring them back into the fold, you're gonna rejoice. You know, you're not gonna stray away from certain brothers, you know, that basically are straying away. But like I said, a hireling, they're gonna be like, well, we lost them, and I'm gonna get my little pay, and I'm out of here.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, bro, this ministry is something that once you in it, it's like you gotta constantly grow and stay within this.
Cool.
It's because when you're doing it at the time of 2021, when someone taking a jump shot, after a certain years, they act like everybody forgot about it. They just jump right onto the next page.
Yeah.
That stuff is still lingering in people. You know?
Yeah.
Like we gotta walk around them and shit, emitting on us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know your leaders told you that. That's why you gotta know. You gotta look deep and see who your leaders are, where they leading you to. You know, because some could be like a Judas goat. They're leading to somewhere that, to a point where what does a Judas goat do? Take the other sheep somewhere, and you know, and it's a group of them, and he come back by himself. And where they go, I don't know.
Yep.
He leading you to the slaughter.
That's
You
right.
gotta really look and see who your leaders are and where
That's
they're
right.
going.
Because a lot of these guys are charlatans. I got something for you though. This is Ezekiel 34:6. My sheep wandered through all the mountains and upon every high hill. Yea, my flock was scattered upon the face of the earth, and none did search or seek after them. Therefore, ye shepherds, hear the word of the Lord. As I live, saith the Lord God, surely because my flock became a prey, and my flock became meat to every beast of the field, because there was no shepherd, neither did the shepherds search for my flock, but the shepherds fed themselves and not my flock.
Here they sit in their big ass houses eating good, but meanwhile, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and America get swallowed up by all kind of idols, following after other nations, caught up in what they was caught up in. And here, the Lord's house lie waste while you chilling in your home and shit. It takes work. When you're a shepherd, you gonna be dusty, you gonna be hungry, but you got work to do.
Yeah.
That's why the best way one way is to look at your leaders and see what foundation they're building on. It all starts with the foundation. If the foundation ain't right, you ain't got nothing. You got it right.
The foundation is Yahweh Shai.
Yeah. So we got to become expert builders on that foundation. We can't just go out here and just willy nilly this thing. Like I tell brother, I had to go home and study. Like ESOL curriculum, I wing that like a motherfucker. I can't wing this. You got to put in time. Right. Got to put in work.
And that spirit just really has to be on you.
Yeah, exactly.
You just think about it when you do lessons and the scriptures you done wrote down, you think you gonna, bro, you get other precepts, bro, that's a blessing, bro. Right. That's really a blessing, bro. And also, if I make this point, a lot of these guys who have issues, they never revere Yahweh Shah Mashiach. That's something I noticed.
Yeah, they don't give him his credit. They don't fear him. We don't worship him.
Yeah.
Now look at him.
Yeah.
The Lord's sheep, go ahead.
Oh no.
The Lord's sheep is his people, what the elder was reading, and we've been scattered out the four corners of the earth. We ain't getting on planes flying gathering the sheep. We're using this apparatus called the internet to gather in the Lord's people. We just mere servants doing this.
That's right.
We just planting the seeds, Yahweh Shai is making the seed grow and gathering in like a hen gathering her chickens. That's what the Lord is doing, man. So that's the sheep. It's talking about you Israelites.
Right.
You know?
They showing humility. You know, if we got a leader that's actually growing and they're built up, like say he's sitting on top of a mountain, you're gonna be sitting on top of a hill. At least he's gonna help you build up. But you can't be sitting up there and everybody looking lowly. You looking down there like a dictator.
Yeah.
You know, like I control all and you stay where you at. Yeah. You know, you gotta show humility. It can actually be a thin line sometimes between humility and pride. Yeah. You know, you can be prideful and think you being humble and don't even know.
Yeah. Because
your mindset is stuck on, I got to do this and I got to take care of my own. But what about the ones that surrounding you that you have to help grow?
That's right.
Yep. Verse 30. Oh, you got something?
No, it's an excellent point.
Yep. Ezekiel 34:10 in the NLT. This is what the sovereign Lord says. I now consider these shepherds my enemies. And I will hold them responsible for what happened to my flock. So you told Jake to go get the jab, and they walking around here, all right, with Komodo dragon DNA. You know what I'm saying? This nigga pissing in the toilet, melting. It's like, what's wrong? They turn to a goddamn gorilla. That you responsible for that, man. Growing a tail. You responsible for that, man. That was wicked as hell. Okay, for y'all to lay around there and tell y'all congregation to go take that juice, man. That was wicked.
Yeah.
Captain Tazariak, the no cowards guys, standing in the damn jab line with fringes on, all black, with spikes on but you in a jab line. Talking, I gotta keep my job. You have people who don't even know the truth stood firmer than y'all niggas, man.
Yep.
And General Yohana talking about,
the crack.
They go give, if you overcame crack, you can overcome the vaccine. What? Y'all gonna all be held responsible for that. All of you guys who just had a gray area, why couldn't you just say no?
Yeah.
Because you was worried about Israel being mad at you for them having to maybe lose a job?
Yeah.
We overcome, like I said, what about, we overcame crack? Hey, why? Because people said no. Just like the jab, you could supposed to say no.
Yeah.
Right. It says, I will hold them responsible for what has happened to my flock. I will take away their right to feed the flock, and I will stop them from feeding themselves. I will rescue my flock from their mouths. The sheep will no longer be their prey. And this is what's getting, the Lord's getting ready to shut you guys up, man.
Yeah.
And you all are gonna pay. IUIC. Now you're on video talking about, we told y'all that juice was gonna kill y'all. But then your leader gave the counsel, if you need to take it, take it.
Right.
Now eventually they did, come down and say don't do it because, again, 20 plus of their members passed, the bishop got sick. And when we seen him sick, it ain't like we were rejoicing. Yeah, that nigga gonna die. We, you know, it was like, damn. You know, this is a guy we came up seeing, and you know, we learned some things from him coming in. You know what I'm saying? I myself, when he was in his right mind, so it was like, damn, looking at him like that. But that was the Lord. You would think that he would have came to the conclusion, you know, let me stop playing. He's still playing. He got back healthy. He got right back proud. But that's when they started to say, don't take it, after he started looking sick like that, and a lot of their members passed away. Y'all should have had the wherewithal to, at the very beginning, to say no.
Yeah.
And then to now sit on video and say, we told y'all to go kill y'all. No, y'all didn't say that at first.
Right.
Just be honest. One thing about us, we had a hardcore, we didn't leave you no gray area, Zabak and gray area. We can't tell, one body of Howard shot. Well, I wouldn't tell you, I can't tell you not to. You gotta do what you gotta do. You're supposed to be preparing the sheep for the coming severity of the day of the Lord, man. What's it called? In Revelation, the 3rd chapter? The hour of temptation.
Yeah.
You're supposed to be prepared because we're all going to be tempted. And if you fail that test, what the hell you think you're going to do when they start to tell you got to do even more? Because more jabs are coming.
Yeah.
Right.
You think Esau's done with the jab? Bro, we finna be in straits, man.
Boy.
Brothers, there's going to be a bunch of, you know, certain brothers all in one place. It's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be trying, but it's going to be necessary for salvation. We're going to have to lose certain things on this side, man. That's the straight gate. That's the simplicity in Yahweh Shai. But Jake doesn't want to deal with the simplicity. They don't want to deal with the reality of what we've signed up for. So they want to make it into the crypt, but I'm a righteous crypt. They want to make it into, now I'm a righteous rapper. I want to do, no, man. We are servants of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, man.
That's right.
We're sitting here to change the world so that the kingdom can come. And the simplicity is working. All it takes is just merely preaching his word, and it's so powerful that alone is enough.
That's right.
But to Jake, you know, it's like, nah, we got to do this, I'm gonna do that. Why do you think Tazariak went to ISUPK? We were teaching that guy. Okay? The ex-head of Mississippi, the ex-head of Baton Rouge, we used to bring him in the conference call, we would teach him.
Yeah.
And he knew the mark of the beast was the chip.
Yeah.
But he got, you know, he didn't like our stance on women. He didn't like how we got down on women, so he went to ISUBK, taking the knowledge that he learned from us, and he was able to just shoot up amongst the ranks. And he was the man. Remember early when he first, you know, he was getting down, doing them debates. That's because we taught him. But then, as you see the time going, Tazariak sounds like a politician. Now, does he say things that are on point? Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right? He knows, you know what I'm saying? But when you really listen to him, he's like a politician now.
Jake wants to be the Cornel West of Israel.
Going on all these podcasts and shit. Like Alazar said, you want the shine, you got it. And that's what he wanted. Anyway, where we at?
I got one to follow that. Because like you mentioned, that these leaders, you know, if you're not teaching your congregation to the right path, then you're part of scattering the sheep. And that's why in Jeremiah 23, the Lord said, "Woe to the pastors that destroy and scatter my sheep." But I'm gonna get Jeremiah 23, but I'm gonna read it in NLT. It's Jeremiah 23 and verse 1, and it reads, "What sorrow awaits the leaders of my people, the shepherds of my sheep, for they have destroyed and scattered the very ones that were expected to care for." They were expected to care for, says Yahweh Shah. Verse 2, it says, "Therefore, this is what the Lord, the power of Israel, says to these shepherds. Instead of caring for my flock and leading them to safety, you have deserted them and driven them to destruction." Now, and that reminds me of that juicy juice that the elder was just going into, man.
The juicy juice.
Yeah, members dying, you know what I'm saying? The bishop himself got sick, you know what I'm saying? On close to deathbed, you know what I'm saying? So that's leading the sheep to destruction, man, to be destroyed. It says, "You have deserted them and driven them to destruction. Now I will pour out judgment on you for the evil you have done to them. So there's a price that's going to be paid for doing that very thing, man. You're not going to go unscathed. You're not going to get away with it, man. The Lord knows, man, and He's going to repay, you know, for those actions.
That's right.
Yep. Yep.
I
Go ahead.
I got this in
Break it down.
I got you. This is Revelations 22 in verse 11 through 12. He that is unjust, let him be unjust still, and he which is filthy, let him be filthy still. You know, like the elders and the officers been going into, man. You know, with these other guys that's leading these other camps in Israel. You know, them going off, and then especially now we not speaking in the name of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, especially Yahushai. You know, it goes to show you that they don't really stand for anything, man, other than their own bellies, other than their own lust, man. You know, making money off the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's not the spirit of Yahushai, man. The spirit of Yahushai is in Revelations the 19th chapter, the spirit of prophecy. And if you ain't going in on prophecy, you know, in your videos or out there on the highways and byways, then what are you doing, man? You know, it goes to show you that you're only in here in this thing, you know, to forward your own self here in this captivity, you know. But hey, it's all good, because the Lord said, hey, let them be filthy still. Right. You know, that don't mean that we ain't gonna make videos on you and cuss you out, you know, and correct you, because they're like the elders always say, there's elect members amongst the bodies of these different camps, man. So we're gonna continue to push the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, regardless if you niggas go off or not, man. Yep. Continuation.
If I can add too, to that, because just to back that point you just made, when you read in Ezekiel the 3rd chapter, the Lord said to warn His people.
Yep.
He said, if you warn them, you know, then you're going to be exonerated. You know,
Yep.
I'm going to clear you. But if you don't warn them, in both instances, He said He's going to kill that wicked man. If you warn him, He's going to kill him. If you don't warn him, He's going to kill him. But if you don't warn him, then their blood is going to be required at your hands. Man.
That's right.
You know?
That's right. Continuation in verse 11. And he that is righteous, let him be righteous still. He that is holy, let him be holy still. Verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according as his work shall be. And this is Yahweh Shai speaking, man. And it's not in red right. I'm gonna get just a few more. I'm gonna just read through. But the Lord say what? Behold, I come quickly. You know, so that's just going back to Matthew's the 24th chapter, man. You know, when the elder was mentioning about the slothful servant and so on and so forth. Hey, you not worried about, these other guys ain't really worried about Yahweh Shai coming back, man. What did he say? 1,000 years? You know, that's their mind frame, man. They think that Yahweh Shai won't come back in their lifetime, you know. But look at the thing that's going on in the earth. Like the elders mentioned earlier on in the lesson. Yeah, you know, the things that's going on with Israel and Iran, you know, there's just skirmishes right now. There's wars and rumors of wars, man. But eventually it's not going to be a rumor no more, man. Eventually fucking missiles is going to be flying around the whole world, hitting the particular spots that the Lord wanted to hit them, according to Joel, the 2nd chapter, man. What you going to say then? You know?
You said, you know, those are righteous, be righteous still,
Mm-hmm.
be filthy still.
Right.
That's you basically working out your own salvation as well.
Yep.
And also, that's what is that? Galatians 6, where the Lord said, "Whatever you sow, that you shall reap."
Yep.
So whatever you're sowing into your spirit, the Lord said, "Hey, that's what He's gonna require."
Yeah.
So whatever you get, hey, you're gonna get involved in that, you know, that fire.
Yeah.
And that's what's about to happen. The Lord is setting up for that. So you got some men that's sowing certain things up in the spirit and within their body, you know, or in their congregation, that, like the priest mentioned, is going to be the Lord is going to require, because you did this. You sowed this, so you got to reap what you sowed.
Yep.
And if I can add too, about the skirmishes.
Mm-hmm.
You know, right now, the rumors of war, the skirmishes, all that, and then you got Jake not believing anything will help. Where when you read in Ezekiel the 12th chapter, the Lord says we're in the time of the effect of every vision.
Right.
You know, so like you said, there's going to come a point in time that it ain't going to be just a skirmish anymore. These things are going to actually happen, because the Lord is about that proverb going away, man. You don't believe? He going to make you a believer before it's over.
Man, they say he cannot lie.
Yeah, our words are going to start coming to, and it's been happening. Certain things, you know, certain apostles, bishops, elders, brothers, than speaking it. It comes to pass like that. Even sometimes you'll be like, man, I wonder what happened to that brother. So then a video of him pop up. Right. Like that's been happening to me. I ain't seen this brother in a while. Then a video pop up. Oh, he's still good. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of things that the Lord gonna have us start to say things. It's gonna happen that day. It's gonna get some people gonna start getting scared. Then you're gonna start to consider. And ultimately, it's the Lord, man. It ain't us. We're just vessels that He used to say things that cause effects. You know, the effect of every vision is going to be right before your very eyes, man. It ain't going to be no let's sit down and ridicule, you know, this. Ain't nobody going to be able to point the finger at nobody. It's just going to be what the Lord's will.
Yep.
Was you finished?
I had a few more, but you can.
No, go ahead.
Okay. This is Revelations 22 and verse 13. I am Alpha and Omega, the beginning and end, the first and the last. Blessed are they. It just goes to show you that this is though it's not written in red writing, you know, it's still Yahweh Shah speaking, you know. Blessed are they that do this commandment, that they may have right to the tree of life. It may enter in through the gates into the city.
And not bound the knee to the knees. That's a commandment.
Mm-hmm.
Say that, go ahead.
It's going to show you that those ones that's going to be welcome into that first resurrection, man, that get to walk into the kingdom, man, instead of being reborn. You know, we get to the kingdom, man, and you be one of the ones that's reborn. That's going to be something that's low key looked down upon, man. Yep. You know.
And if I may, brother, hey, man, and once again, all you people, you know, we be on all different social media platforms, bro. You know, I'm nobody, you know, we never come off like that, but bro, we see those comments, bro. You don't think the angels don't see what y'all typing? You know what I'm saying? Talking shit, bro.
What we missed, they catching anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, just talking crazy. Because anytime you see the Israel, you know, because we're over it already. But I'm like, let me see what they say. Oh yeah, girl. Every time I see them, that's why you see Jake. They'll be near. You know, if anytime we got a highway and byway speaking, they'll cross the street. They'll damn near get hit in traffic.
Yeah.
Bro, ain't nobody, you know what I'm saying? But you have other sects that, hey, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, but that's done for, man. For the most part, when y'all come across GMS, bro,
we not doing that.
Man, if it be the will of Yahweh Shem Yahshua, man, only the elect are those who are truly inquiring, bro.
But even like certain people who they be like, y'all different. I like y'all. You know, y'all actually, you know, y'all out here teaching, y'all out here, you know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't just out here to make a show or, you know, now we condemn, of course, when the time comes, but somebody comes up with a sincere question of just talking every situation, and sister, you don't
Nah.
It don't require that, yeah.
Okay? None of us woke up off of hearing the law. We woke up off of the power of prophecy, man.
Yep.
So you shoving the law down people's throat, they're just walking up. Come on, man. You gotta basically reel them in. You don't just shove the whole law down somebody's throat the first time they walk up. But
Okay, 14 and 15, that's it. Revelations 22 and 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. For or without are dogs, sorcerers, and whoremongers, and murderers, and adulterers, and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie. You know, just to go back on those guys that's filthy, man. You're not gonna be one of those ones that get to get beamed up into the chair. Nah, man. You get to stay here and eat a missile or whatever judgment the Lord has set out for you, man. You know.
A newly created beast chase your ass down. Chase your ass from head to toe.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
All that's the type of judgment. Because like the brother put on the comment board, GMS live by faith, it says Revelation 3 and 10, because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
Yep.
I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation. Now somebody look at that word temptation. You know? Because you're going to have to be rooted.
That's right.
Yep. See? You're going to have to, then you're going to have to keep the law then too.
Yeah.
You always hear that.
That's the real fulfillment of the law. When that charagma come and these various different things that entice you to rebel against the Lord, you're going to have the wherewithal to know, no, I'm not bowing the knee. Because that's what the fringes represented. You will be in a situation and the fringe will dangle and you be like, okay, I'm going to do what's right. What's coming, you're going to have it up here. It's going to have to be in you.
Yep. That's why the priest said, the Bible said that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of that time. That's a mental thing. Your mind got to be strong, man.
Yeah. The Lord got to be with you at the end of the day.
Absolutely. Yep. That's right.
And He's going to keep you from the hour of temptation. He's going to put a spirit on you to rather take death than to bow the knee. Because what are you going to bow the knee for? To do what? Enter into the New World Order? You may as well just happily, because the spirit world ain't that bad of a deal if you understand the truth. If it comes to the point where they getting ready to, they telling you to do this or hey, choose the death, man. Right. Just call on the name of the Lord until you're back in the spirit world, man. You'll be all right. We have to tell the congregation these things so that when they're faced with it, you got to understand death ain't that big of a deal in the grand scheme of things. Okay? That's a big comfort that comes with this truth, is understanding that death ain't the end all be all. Okay? Somebody got it?
Yes. This is temptation in Revelations, the third chapter. It's Paramos G3986.
Hey, go down to the third one.
Yeah, see?
You see? Yeah. Yeah.
I got you. I'm gonna get this one here in B, then I'm gonna jump down to C. The trial of men's fidelity, integrity, or virtue, or consistency.
Integrity. You got Jake with fringes on with no integrity. Boasting in the fringes with no integrity. And it's gonna show as this world crumbles, they're gonna compromise. They're gonna fold, man. Never sell out, brothers. Never sell out.
That's right.
Never take a deal. Never allow nothing to compromise you, man. Trillions of dollars is not worth to taking a bag. None of it is worth it, man.
Right.
In the grand scheme of things, you're gonna regret it. Okay? Never, man. Keep your integrity, man. You made an oath to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua when you came into this truth.
B4. Yeah.
Okay? Let that be at the forefront. Look what Yahushua did, man. He went all the way. He went all the way to the cross. He kept the law. That was a fulfillment of the law. That was what he was commanded to do. That's a commandment. What he did was he was commanded to do. That was an aspect of fulfilling the law as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got Jake boasting out the law, but then they're not preparing themselves to really keep it. Because it's going to come a time where you're not going to, fringes, you may get grabbed up without your fringes.
You being what?
You know what I'm saying? So it's going to have to be in you. You ain't going to have your Bible. You're not going to have the blue letter to look up. This is going to be you.
In the book of Matthew, he says what? He didn't, what is it, 5:17 about the law? He come to fulfill the law.
Right.
So the judgment that's happening on this planet is going to happen. You go judge about the law.
You go judge it,
Yeah.
The law wasn't done away with.
yeah.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the greatest commandment he kept was being obedient unto death. See? Go ahead.
This is definition B, number 4.
We've never taught no doctrine that you can just do what the hell you want to do. Of course, there's aspects of the law that you use to guide your decision making. Of course, come on now. But we just know that it's deeper than that. Yahweh Shai said, unless your righteousness surpass those of the scribes and Pharisees, you show in no wise entrance. So it requires a deeper obedience than just observing the you know?
Yeah. Yes.
It requires you to be in tune with the Spirit. That's why Paul says, those who walk in the Spirit, they fulfill the law. Go ahead.
Galatians 3 says the law wasn't disannulled. You know, Yahweh Shai, he came to fulfill the law to cover the ones that it said in John 15, John 17, were basically who he came for. Right. He came and he fulfilled the law to cover that election. Right. But everybody else, like you say, when you come to judge the world, the law is gonna show it's still a bad. Right.
It's not coming back. Because if that wasn't the case, then you don't need your house shine. We're already been in the kingdom.
He came to show us how to do it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he was a
Schoolmaster.
living example.
He was a living example of keeping the law.
That's right.
His life, he kept the law. But go ahead, finish that.
Con. This is a definition of testing. This is B4, adversity, affliction, trouble sent by the Most High, serving to test or prove one's character, faith, or holiness. Definition C, temptation, trial of the Most High by men, rebellion against the Most High, by which his power and justice are, as it were, put to the proof and challenged to show themselves.
Then read the third one above B. Some adversity and affliction. You said.
Yeah,
Above that one.
verse 3 and B, of the condition of things or a mental state by which we are enticed to sin or to a lapse from the faith and holiness.
Yeah, enticed to sin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Esau's getting ready to do.
Yeah.
He's going to bring about a system where it's going to entice you to fold, to say, well, this is good. Esau's God. He controls water, air, food. I gotta bow to him.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta do what I gotta do. Jake did that for a job.
It's going down when a resource becomes scarce. You can line with both arms.
Bro,
What name one of them?
right, when he's telling you, you can't, you basically, we gonna deport your ass out of America if you don't go centered around certain guidelines. Do you trust the Lord?
Damn, boy.
Or do you say, well, you know what I'm saying, fuck it, man, just give it to me. That's what's coming. That's what's coming. And see, Jake, really, Esau is going to become y'all God because y'all going to lose, the Lord just going to do away with y'all and he's going to put a reprobate spirit on you. I got one real quick.
If I can add two real quick, Zaquan, and that's the ultimate sin. And as Zaquan just said, you choosing him to be your God, which offends the very first commandment. Thou shalt have no other God before me.
That's right.
You know?
And that's what he's putting himself in position to be a savior. But this is Wisdom of Solomon 4 and 3. But the multiplying brood of the ungodly shall not thrive, nor take deep rooting from the bastard slip. Verse 4, for though they flourish in branches for a time, yet standing not fast, they shall be shaken with the wind, and through the force of the winds they shall be rooted out. And the winds is their prophecy coming to that time. The imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not ripe, yea, meat for nothing. So though they flourish, and there's a lot of people who call themselves Israelites acting like they down, but when the winds start blowing, it's going to show that they ain't rooted. They're going to be movable. The scriptures tell us to be immovable. And these guys are so all over the place that leadership has just given them a gray area to live by, topped off with the law. So they think they good.
Right.
I got my fringes. I keep the law. I stopped eating pork. I don't eat pork no more. So they just think like I'm good. But the Lord requires a deeper faith than that.
Yeah. So what's that example in the scriptures? The dude kept all the laws, put
Yep.
all the types. He said, okay, well, sell that and then come with me.
Yeah, he didn't.
He walked away, he was sad.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's an example right there. The scriptures got every example known, it covers everything.
The one that acknowledged he was a sinner above boasting in the law was justified more than the one who boasted in the law.
Mm-hmm.
You see?
Yep. Now it makes sense when Quan read that definition, how the scripture said to be renewed in the spirit of your mind. You gotta have a strong man. It's gonna be,
How shall they? He didn't come for the righteous. Came for them. Jake, he basically came for us. We're a Gentile church.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's what people, fail to realize. Like, bro, Jacob boasted the law. Like, first and foremost, the law is beautiful because the law is a guideline how to truly live life. But we really ain't in no position to follow all 613 commandments, man. We're in captivity now. We do what we need to do, through the Spirit. But it's more obvious that you guys aren't dealing with the
Right.
spirit.
Because faith is really how you fulfill the law now.
That's right.
And if you have faith, you're going to do the things that are pleasing unto Yahweh Bashem Shai. But I got that scripture I quoted, Matthew 5:20. For I say unto you that except your righteousness shall exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees. What was the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees? The laws. Ye shall in no case enter into the kingdom. So the Lord requires something deeper. Because Jake had always had a history of keeping those customs to the point where the Lord got tired of it. In the book of Isaiah, Jake had always kept the customs, the new moon feast and various different things. But their spirits weren't right.
Yep.
See, the Lord is requiring our spirits to be right, man, to fear Him. Okay, and now we're finding out the people who boast in the law like that happen to be the worst Israelites. Uncouth, no judgment, weird, silly, horny, adulterers.
Yeah.
Okay, they like dildos up the, you know.
Might, correct?
Now the fringes. Now they wear them fringes all day. You don't think those fringes should have stopped them from doing some of that nasty shit? That shows you that ain't what the Lord is requiring. And the fringes are centered around a legacy of Israel needing something physical to be obedient, needing something carnal to remember the Lord. But when the fringes were instituted, there was an angel right there that should have kept them being obedient anyway. It's an angel floating over you, feeding you a food, and you need fringes.
Right.
That show you our people, they get caught up in ritual and this and that, but then they themselves ain't right. You got to be right. And see, Yahweh Shai came and showed us how to be right with the Most High, man. And it was the simple thing was he was just obedient to what his mission. What is our mission? Preach.
To cover the prophesy.
Yep. Sing the new song.
That's right.
The new song is going to bring the end into existence right before our eyes. We're seeing it happen. We've seen that just preaching works.
Yep.
It really works.
Yeah, like you said in Revelation, the spirit, spirit of Yahweh Shai, the spirit of prophecy. Yeah. That's like they're going into that new song. So if you're speaking prophecy, as it said, what it said in Chat GPT, GPT.
Chat GPT.
It shows that, like I say, GMS, we basically push prophecy.
Yep.
Apostle Hart said that, when it went into it, the constant saying, we basically abide in prophecy.
Yep.
So through the spirit, we have to be in the spirit of Yahweh Shai.
That's it.
That's the deal. That's the main thing.
Right. Well, the brother from Hawaii hit me up this weekend. We were talking. He said he typed in which Israelite camp talks about the microchip more. And it said GMS. Bam.
It's a lot of prophecy.
You know what I'm saying? And hey. And what are y'all gonna say when it comes out clear that is it?
When you faced with it.
What are y'all gonna say?
Right.
They ain't gonna have nothing to say. Okay? Because ultimately, as it says in Ezekiel 12, it's in your day, O rebellious house, shall I speak the word and do it. So it's gonna be done and you're gonna be through. And a lot of y'all are gonna be shaken with the winds, man. Y'all gonna be blown all over the place, man, because you did not take root in the simplicity in Yahweh Shai. It was never fun to you. You didn't want to really get into it. It was boring. It was redundant. Okay, but those who invested in the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Shai and stayed there, man, they're going to be rooted. When the winds come, they ain't going to be shaken. And the Lord is going to put a cold spirit on them. Some are going to stay faithful and get beheaded, but the Lord is going to have some that they're going to stay alive. He going to constantly keep them in the mind to do what's pleasing and get them out of situations.
Yep.
That's what it means by I'm going to keep you from the hour of temptation. The Lord is going to be working miracles through brothers and certain sisters. The Lord is getting ready, because somebody got to be alive when the chariots come. Not everybody's going to die.
That's right.
And Jake on the right hand side are sleeper cells technically for Yahweh Bashem Shai. The elect is going to be sleeper cells. So when it's time to get beamed up and activated,
Yeah.
They don't know what's up.
You know, but from now to that point, those of us who are going to be alive, the Lord will feed us. All right, Esau will have drones, AI everywhere. How are we going to get through that? It's going to be the Lord keeping you from the hour of temptation in whatever capacity, getting you out of situations, showing you angels, food popping up. You thinking you for the, you know, they got you locked up somewhere, getting ready to torture you. You think and their whole plan just go. An angel comes and that happened to Peter.
Yeah.
Angel come and get you out of the situation, man, and take you somewhere where it's other brothers you never met before, and they all believe. Miracles are coming like that.
Yep.
Miracles are coming, but miracles ain't coming to no low-level believer. Miracles are coming to high-level believers, man, that believe in the resurrection first and foremost. Okay, because if you believe in the resurrection, nothing should be able to stop you.
Right.
If you wholeheartedly believe in the resurrection, that's a form of spiritual power right there. And nothing that happens in this world should move you on that alone. You see? Because he rose him from the dead. You know what I'm saying? I had to, you know, at some point in my walk, I had to I was asking, do I really believe that?
Right.
You got to ask it, do I really believe the resurrection? If you really believe the resurrection, you should never fall off. Now, why did the disciples and certain women take those deaths like that in Rome? They saw him after, you know, some of them saw him after he rose, some of them saw the miracle, so they're like, what can you tell me? We got to have that type of faith.
Right.
Now. Okay? Because there was nothing you could tell them. They saw the miracle. They saw him feed all of them people with the little. They saw all of those miracles, so when it came time to take a death,
That's right.
they was like, I'm not denying it. I saw it with my own eyes.
That boosts their confidence too.
Right.
Like, oh, you know what? Whatever.
They saw, some of them saw him after he raised from the dead.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So when persecution came, it was like, what could you do? They were willing to get crucified upside down, head chopped off, because they know what they saw and they weren't going to deny it, man. You got to have that type of faith, man.
Right.
Now. Okay, and how do you show that type of faith? By how you deal with brothers, how you treat yourself. All right, in your works in the ministry, being upright, repenting, feeling bad when you go off. That's all tied to your faith, man. And knowing that the words that are written in the value in the book are coming to pass. So what type of person should you be as concerned in this world? Okay?
That's perfect.
All right, man. So with that, man, we go shut it down. Getting close to 10 o'clock, man. Hopefully you brothers and sisters were edified, man. We will give all praises to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elders.
Shalom.